How you doing, everybody? I'm Tony Gaglione.
I'm Shawn Adams.
This is Smacktalk. Today we're talking about the NFL in this segment. Jeff Toole is going to be the starting quarterback of the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, out of Washington State. If he does start Week 1, they're saying if E.J. Manuel's not ready, he'll be the first ever undrafted rookie to start a game, according to the Eli Sports Bureau, which is interesting because he's 6'3", 221, so he's got the size of an NFL quarterback, but
the skill might not be. If you go undrafted, I mean, there's plenty of players that go undrafted and come out and end up being great, but I'm not sure that he's one of them. I mean,
wouldn't that be a great success story, though?
That'd be great. That'd be awesome.
Bills find their quarterback as an undrafted guy.
And you're going to know right away because they're playing the Patriots.
Speaking of Bills quarterback, the reason why Jeff Toole might start is because Kevin Kolb suffered a possible career-ending concussion.
Yeah.
It's a severe concussion. It's kind of that you don't recover from or that you have lasting effects from. I'm pretty sure he'll be joining the NFL Players Association lawsuit for concussion studies.
And last year when he was with the Cardinals, he did have a concussion that the effects lasted forever.
Yeah. So multiple concussions aren't good. A severe one is definitely bad. Speaking of injuries around the NFL, Will Smith of the Saints has an ACL tear. He's going to be out for the season, as well as our boy Mark Sanchez, hurt in the fourth quarter.
I don't know how long he's going to be out, but he shouldn't have been in there.
No.
Rex Ryan decides, because Geno Smith threw 3 interceptions in the game against the Giants, and he decided to pull Geno Smith in a preseason game to try to win the game. He played to win the game.
In preseason.
And put in Sanchez, and he made a heck of a play when he got hurt. He juked about 2 defenders on a rollout.
Yeah, and then got laid out.
Yeah, he got laid out.
Yeah.
And the guy didn't... They can't find the guy who hit him. I'm not sure his name because he's a scrub. But they can't find the guy who hit him because he pulled up and he kind of chested him down. But his shoulder...
Yeah, the way...
it just kind of hit wrong. So, I mean...
That goes... and that's the thing about the NFL. These preseason games, it's a war of attrition. And you guys don't pay attention to preseason. That's where a lot of injuries happen that force teams to shuffle the rosters, sign guys. One of those things I wanted to talk about was my Pittsburgh Steelers. They signed Felix Jones because we've had Le'Veon Bell get injured. Isaac Redmond's now going to be coming back. LaRod Stephen Howling, who we got from the Cardinals, he's injured. So they picked up Felix Jones, which he's a first-round draft pick.
It's good for guys who own Felix Jones as a backup in fantasy football.
Right here.
But, me too. But, seriously, I mean, I like Felix Jones. Yeah, he's better than what's there, except for Le'Veon Bell, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's better than what's there right now. But the problem is that when these guys...
Dwyer.
Yeah, whatever. When these guys come back...
Yeah, you're gonna have a crowded backfield.
Who are they releasing?
Who earns a spot? And you know what I think's funny is that as a Steelers fan, Mike Tomlin doesn't do fumbles. Felix Jones had a problem with that. Yeah. If anyone's ever watched a Steeler game, if a guy fumbles, boom, you're out.
You're gone.
You're out. Yeah. Mendenhall used to have that problem. He'd fumble and then he'd be gone. There's going to be games where Dwyer's had a great game and then he coughs up a fumble and it's like, boom, next guy's in.
I think last year you guys were crowding the backfield too. At one point you had Charles Clay, you had Dwyer,
Baron Batch.
Yeah, I mean, and you have to release guys at some point. Obviously, like they didn't have to play anymore. I don't think.
No.
Okay, well there you go. And you got 4 running backs there.
Or 5.
5
5 running backs.
At least 3 of them are proven.
Yeah, if I was Mike Tomlin, I was going to keep a running back. If I was going to keep running backs, I'm going to keep Felix Jones.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep Bell, and I'm going to keep LaRod Stephen Howlings, and I'll keep a 4th spot open for who's going to win that between Dwyer and Redmond, because both of them last year had chances to prove to be the starter.
They're worth something now. So if you do want to let go of them, I say you trade them because you can probably get a mid-round draft pick.
Something like that, or even another player. Obviously, the Steelers traded backup linebacker to the Eagles for this. So they kind of made out in that deal. But then the same thing, they could trade one of these running backs to a team that maybe has lost somebody to injury, and then try to get somebody another depth position, maybe a defensive tackle, offensive lineman, because we do have a young offensive line. The most notable thing that happened today were cuts around the NFL. There were some pretty big cuts.
Names getting cut. Dante Stallworth from the Redskins, his second stint with the Redskins.
Joshua Cribbs, the return specialist, got cut by the Raiders.
That's huge. You know what? Joshua Cribbs can still play.
Yeah. Oh,
I don't care what team you are. He's not a wide receiver. He's not a. He's a returner. He's a special.
He's like Brad
returner.
Smith that played for the Jets.
He's Kevin Hester. That's what he is.
Yeah.
He's a great returner, and that's just about it.
Yeah.
Braylon Edwards from the Jets.
Braylon Edwards couldn't make the 5th roster spot on the Jets. That's bad.
He's had a lot of problems.
The biggest surprise to me was Joe McKnight. Joe McKnight earlier this season said, "You'll have to kill me to take my spot," and then he had undisclosed headaches. Then he was late to a couple meetings, and then he had like a day off and got his car towed and arrested for unpaid traffic. I mean, how do you? I don't know how you make millions of dollars and have unpaid traffic fines, but
yeah, right. Give him your card. Say here it is. Whatever.
Here's my platinum. My black card.
It's the black one. Yeah, it's not platinum. Yeah. It's the black one. It's a special one for special people. These big names getting released is just a sign that younger players are coming in.
Yeah, it's contract money. Why would you pay a guy millions of dollars when you got a young guy who's unproven, but he's willing to work? Sure. And
some of the young guys right now, excuse me, I'm sorry. Oh. Some of the young guys right now are better than these guys.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And they cost only about $550K a year, whereas Braylon Edwards costs probably about
Dante Stallworth murdered a guy with his car.
There you go.
You know, Braylon Edwards also. He punched a guy. He punched one of LeBron James.
Yeah, we were just talking about Braylon Edwards not too long ago on one of our shows about the DUI thing and how they offered a limo service. But he was the guy who decided to take his Range Rover home at 3 in the morning and get a DUI.
Yeah, so. That's the thing with these cuts. What happens is like Joe McKnight, Joshua Cribbs. These guys are going to get picked up. Yeah, they're going to get picked up by somebody. Whether or not they make an effect on their team is yet to be known. But they will provide some value. And in fact, we were talking about the trading with the Steelers, with their extra running backs. What happens is the team says, okay, I can trade for this guy for a pick or another player, or I can pick up one of these guys off of waivers who's a free agent. You know, Willis McGahee, he's still out there. Michael Turner's still out there.
Yeah, Michael Turner, that's a big one for me.
You know, Willis McGahee, dude, still got gas in the tank.
He's still got gas in the tank, but he's a lot older than Michael Turner. The only thing with Turner is that he seems to gain weight in the offseason.
Not only that, it's carries. The amount of carries he's had the last couple of years.
Yeah, he has been... he's fallen off. He's fallen off. That's for sure.
But I mean, that's the thing. You, as a GM, you look at: do I trade for a player? Or do I sign one of these guys? I mean, especially a wide receiver. You got Stallworth, who's he's Braylon Edwards. I mean,
he's
Braylon
number 3 somewhere.
Yeah, Braylon Edwards has a problem with drops, but I mean, with Joshua Cribbs, you need a return man. You know, because that's what special teams is going on right now.
Hey.
Teams are finding out who's going to be the return man.
I'm open to 3 out of 4 of these guys.
I'm open to the Steelers picking up Joshua Cribbs.
I'm open to McKnight. I'm open to Cribbs. You put Devin Hester and Josh Cribbs back there, you can't kick the ball away from somebody.
Just do the dual pump return.
That is not
thing.
complicated.
Who are you kicking it to? Out of bounds. You're kicking it out of bounds.
Then you're going to get great field position no matter what.
Exactly.
And I would definitely take Stallworth. I mean, the guy, he can still run. He's still fast.
The last thing I want to talk about is the Vikings fullback was suspended for 4 games for violating substance abuse policy. This isn't because he got a DUI last year right before signing with the Vikings. He immediately apologized, but he had his appeal. He understands the NFL position. But one thing I wanted to ask is, what do you think is going to do to Adrian Peterson's rushing yards? Because last year he had a fullback over 2,000 yards. Mm-hmm. He's going to be without a fullback for 4 games. He's going to come back when they play in London versus the Steelers. That's
Which is not good. Back. Which is not good because you're going to have that hangover from the flight.
Yep.
Because they always wait till the last second to go over
there. You can't practice with the team while you're suspended.
And he's just going to have a problem gelling in. It'll take him a few games. It's gonna drop Peterson's rushing yards. So fantasy owners.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they didn't see that one coming.
No, and that's just like remember the year he tore his ACL or whatever. You don't see that coming.
No.
And Maurice Jones-Drew did that for me last year. I had him, and he's like my number 1 running back, and boom, he gets hurt the first game. He's out
he finished last year with the most rushing yards.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
Oh! You're talking about Peterson. I'm sorry.
No, not Peterson.
Oh, yeah.
Jones-Drew did that to a lot of fantasy owners last year.
Really, and another thing, like injuries with Will Smith being hurt on the offensive line for the Saints. I mean, their whole offense is predicated around protecting Drew Brees and letting him pick off defenses.
And if you've seen any of the last preseason games with the Saints, they did not protect him very well.
Exactly. So that could be an issue for the Saints coming up. Thanks for watching segment 2 or segment.
Segment 1.
Sorry about that, guys. Stay tuned for segment 2. I'm Shawn Adams.
Tony Gaglione. Thanks for watching.